Hello and welcome to MCFC 9320 podcast. What a result and performance yesterday. We're going to get really into it. Good evening, Penfold, and good evening, Anne-Marie.
Good evening, Andy.
Sorry, Paddy. And good evening to everybody. What?
Straight in, marking my disability. No mess.
And good evening to everybody who is in the chat tonight. Listen, I'm going to have also a giveaway tonight. And the only thing you've got to do is be here, which you're already here anyway, so you don't know winner. So what we'll be doing tonight, I will be giving you a chance to win one of these mugs. I'll even throw in a coaster. And the way we'll do it, after the show, I will go through everybody who's in the comments and we'll... I'll just draw it out with one of them imaginary app things like I normally do. So yeah, thank you everybody for joining us. It just doesn't seem right with three of us anymore, does it?
No. We need Stan, right?
Yeah. So
I'm back.
Yeah. So everybody who's been asking about Stan, we have been passing all the good messages on tonight and stuff like that, but. You can tell him yourself because the legend of the man is here. Good evening, Stan, and welcome back, my friend.
Good evening, everybody.
You know something?
Good evening, everybody. How are you?
I am absolutely chuffed to bits, mate. You have been
We're all
missed.
there now to see you, Stan.
Yeah.
He's only back.
Yeah, it's been a
Glory Hunter.
Yeah, Glory Hunter. Yeah, you know, where were you when we were shit?
Yeah, exactly, Stan. Where were you?
Well, I must admit, it's been a long few weeks, but we're still about 15 games unbeaten. Where was I? I was at Main Road, mate. Main Road.
Look, I've used
What does number I feel as though I've been at Hyde Road.
No, seriously, mate. Yeah, you have been missed, mate. You know,
still been a few weeks and we're still unbeaten. How about that, eh?
Yeah, unlucky from that. I tell you what, I was annoyed with City Women today, but we'll get into that as well in a bit. I was watching that and I turned it off at 2-1 because I thought. Anyway, we'll get into that. So I want to get straight into yesterday's match because we scored 5 goals. Forget about conceding one. What I was more chuffed about yesterday, Anne-Marie, was the performance. I thought our performance was absolutely top notch.
Oh, it was the best I've seen us play in months, if I'm honest. There was all the things that we've been crying out for. There was pace. We were quick with the ball to Haaland, and Foden and Kevin, unreal. But I know Haaland gets all the plaudits for his 4 goals, but you cannot fault Gavidol in yesterday's game. No. I thought he had a great game yesterday, as did Kovacic as well. I think he made a massive difference to our midfield yesterday. It was good to see, and I think, having watched some of Spurs today, I know they'll play differently against us, but I don't really think we've got that much to fear going there. So I'm feeling confident, and I'm feeling very positive for our last 3 games.
Absolutely. Well, it is. See, I've actually been even though I've had a mega hangover all day, I thought I'm actually going to prep for the show for once. So here's our looking at. I've even done graphics and stuff like that. Are you impressed or what?
Oh, highly.
Let me just take Keith's name down there so we can see a little bit better. So yeah, the remaining fixtures, as you can see there, we've got Fulham away left, that which is next Saturday, 12:30 kickoff. So next Sunday. So please, Lord, we will win that fixture. Then all of a sudden, that puts a lot of pressure on Arsenal going to the Swamp, doesn't it?
Yep.
And then that leaves us with Spurs away, and then we've got two stands here now.
Yeah, I think you froze on the first one.
2 for the price of 1.
Yeah, and then so
Like a bus. Don't get 1 for weeks, and then we get 2 at once.
Yeah, and then then Everton are away to Arsenal for the last game of the season, and that leaves us at home also against West Ham. Now, a lot of people are panicking over Spurs away. Yep, Spurs can be Spursy, we know that, but from my point of view, Stan, we've overcome, mate. We've got 2 stands.
How'd you get that other one off?
Like that, mate. So from my perspective, Stan, I understand the edginess around City fans because we're at Spurs away, but for me, the saving grace is we went there this season and beat them in the cup. So with not only it wasn't 3 points, but it progressed us to what's gone on to be the final. So are you asked about it, or do you think we can go there and do it, mate? Straight in with the awkward ones for you, mate.
I know what it is. It's a funny one, isn't it? Because what you say is right. We have broke the U-do and everything, but 40 years of here we go again. Typical City and all that. You just can't. It's not easy to shake it off. And I'm glad you brought it up because I think it's got a little bit to do with the atmosphere at the ground as well. I think we're the only club that's probably won the league 3 years on the bounce and can be 3-0 up and still sit there thinking, if they get one now, you never know. Anne-Marie's smiling there. I think you know what I mean, don't you?
Certainly do.
So you can't enjoy it. And even when Wolves got one back Saturday, you were like, oh.
Yeah.
Fortunately, the Nordic Salmon Shield saved us. But I don't know, mate. Tottenham away, it's always tricky, innit? And it's always, I just don't trust them. And the other thing is, people want to beat us. We are the champions. You've got that. We have to pay that tax. Yeah. And we can't get away with it. Whether we like it or not, people want to beat us. Like everyone used to want to beat Liverpool 100 years ago and United 30 odd years ago. When you're at the top, everyone wants a chunk of you. And I don't know. It's I think Fulham will be just as hard.
Yeah.
I agree, mate. I agree.
They're a very, very, very solid team. You might not see fireworks and spectacular stuff, but they work hard. They're a good unit, and I think they can be difficult to break down. So let's just do it the Pep way, eh? Just get one game out of the way.
Absolutely, mate, and that is it. For me, one of the most pleasing things, apart from banging in them goals yesterday, was as I said, was the performance.
Have you got a Spanish signing coming? Are you hinting at a Spanish signing?
Si, senor, was Erling Haaland, mate. Now, he's took a few pelters, not from City fans, but, with all the rubbish what that knobhead Keane's been saying, things like League Two player. Bless Erling yesterday, Paddy. He looked more like a championship player. He'd gone up a couple of levels yesterday, hadn't he, mate?
He has. I don't think yesterday happened by accident, and I'll tell you why. We had a week off. And that's my only fear around Spurs. Like, we're kicking off at 12:30 on a Saturday against Fulham, and then we're kicking off on a Tuesday night, I think it is, against Spurs. Could they not have put that back to Wednesday? No. Because we all know what happens when we play every third day or every fourth day. The energy levels are there. We had a week off against Brighton, and we tore Brighton to pieces. So I think we will beat Fulham because we'll have the weeks off, rest, and a chance to train, basically, because they haven't had a chance to train, really, because it's just fixture after fixture. But the only problem I see against Spurs, and I know we haven't beat them in the league yet, is it's straight after Fulham, basically. And I don't think it's nothing to do with what people will say, oh, he's on 500 grand a week. 500 grand a week doesn't help your physical recovery.
No, it doesn't.
Doesn't make your legs heat any faster. Doesn't get your lungs back any faster. Makes no difference what you're on. But they play Fulham at a 12:30 on a Saturday and then play Tuesday night away again to London is pathetic. They could have put that back to Wednesday. And we could have still played the last day of the season.
Well, we know Pep had a bit of a dig, didn't he, Anne-Marie? Was it
after the semi-final?
After the semi-final, you know, with our fixture schedule and stuff like that. And Pep did have a point because there was nothing to stop us playing on the Sunday. So it just seems like despite everything coming at us, we're just overcoming them. And not only are we overcoming them, it's not as if we're just nicking a 1-0. We're actually scoring plenty of goals now, you know, in every game. But the performance was just incredible yesterday. I was absolutely chuffed to bits yesterday.
I get what Stan's saying. Oh, not Stan, sorry, Paddy. I get what Paddy's saying. But I honestly believe that with the mentality in our squad, that this will just drive them on. Mm-hmm. That's what I honestly believe. That they've got the mentality of Pep now, if you like. Just focus on the next game, do what we need to do, and we'll get there. And that's what I think we're seeing. Because, you know, in that second half yesterday, I don't really think we moved out of first gear in the second half. They scored, we went straight up the other end and scored again. Yeah. And I think, so I think that there's an element within the squad of being able to play the game, but also save, you know, hold a bit back for the next game, kind of thing. So I'm confident that we'll be, because even this week now they had a week off. They had 2 days actually off, and then they trained the rest of the week. So I can't see it being a big issue. But you know, hopefully I'm not wrong.
No, because also, Stan, it can go the other way, mate, as well, can't it? Where because we used to sort of like playing every 3 days. It's almost like a battery in it, you know. When you charge it too much, it's got that memory kind of thing where, because it's sort of like the unknown having a break, it could have gone the other way with the respect to we could have had a bit of a dodgy performance, you know, rather than the continuity of playing every 3 days. But as Anne-Marie says, it just does seem, and Paddy said, it does seem to have done us the world of good.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt about that. A bit of rest's never going to do you any harm, and it'll give people with the injuries a little bit more time to recover. Mm-hmm. I think, you know, Anne-Marie's right. I mean, I was looking at it before as the view of a follower, of the fan. But I think Anne-Marie's right, that the professionalism of the team now has gone up 1,000 notches. And no disrespect to, you know, Jamie Pollock and the lads that we used to cheer on.
Still do.
The level has moved up a bit as well. Yeah. So I think what will happen here is, because Pep's got this little tight squad together, he can sort of like, with those 2 games coming up, he might do a little bit of rotation. He might do, you know, bring Foden on with half an hour to go, and then against, you know, Tottenham later on, he can play them both, or he'll do it with De Bruyne, or he'll have a little look round to see what he needs. And again, it comes back to the old locks, doesn't it? Fulham's going to be a very different game to Tottenham. So he might not need to do that. He might just think, well, okay, I'll have these 11 for the Tottenham game. And as it happens, I need 8 of them for the Fulham game. So there'll be 3 of them getting rotated anyway. So it's always very hard, isn't it?
Another full week now between now and the Fulham game. So again, it's going to benefit us again, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's really, really strange, isn't it? Not having not worrying about the second leg this week for the European semi-final.
That was so last year.
But the thing is, though, you only have to look at it, the difference. I mean, all right, we'd won the league this time last year, but when we went to Brighton and Brentford, you could see we were taking it easy. We were a little bit, we can't do that 100%. We can do it now because we have got those 2 weeks, and they really do make a difference. But the other thing as well is, I think we remember saying before I was away that Haaland was changing his game. And I think that got picked up yesterday, that the number of times he came deeper to get the ball and move it in and then start doing those little things. It's going to be really alien to him because he's a big unit and he's not going to be able to shift around.
On Match of the Day last night, Stan, where he came deep to get the ball and then you saw the run that he made to get back into the box and things like that. So they did highlight that on Match of the Day.
I'll tell you what was interesting about Match of the Day, and I've always had a lot of respect for Ian Wright. Yes, last night I only seen Match of the Day today, by the way, because I was away wherever last night. And I only watched the City bit, Anne-Marie. So if you watched did you watch the whole thing? Did it mention anything about the dive by Kai Havertz?
Oh, that was according to Ian Wright's Stonewall penalty. And ours, the first one, was the worst penalty decision ever given. And like you say, used to have a lot of respect for him. None at all now, because these things happen in football. That, for Arsenal yesterday, in my opinion, was never a penalty. But it was given. VAR gave it as well.
It was a penalty. He engineered the penalty, Anne-Marie, and look.
He engineered it because he left his own foot in. But
yeah, but it's still a penalty.
The last time I saw somebody dragging a foot like that was watching my left foot. It was ridiculous.
I was watching Andy last night.
Never in a million years was that. But Kai Havertz, his name should be Kaiser Solskjaer. If you've seen Usual Suspects, watch it at the end when he starts walking off. That was never a penalty. To be fair, ours was like ropey at best, but you've seen worse given. And
what amazes me is with that one yesterday, there was, it was an almost instant thing to give the first one, and yet he never actually gave the second one until he was told to go and look at the screen. And the second one was so blatant.
I've seen loads of them penalties that we got. Our first penalty history, I couldn't count in 10 how many penalties against us have been given the very same thing.
I'll be honest, even though I had a few yesterday while I was watching the game, because I met up with Riz yesterday as well before the match and so on and so forth. However, soon as I seen our first penalty, I didn't, and I'm on the opposite side of the ground, I didn't think it was a penalty because I actually thought the ball had gone from Gvardiol just before the tackle came in. The second penalty was a clear-cut penalty. So I think we was fortunate a little bit. But what people need to understand, I don't mean City fans need to understand, because I've seen a lot of stuff, off Ian Wright and so on and so forth in social media and on TV. Kai Havertz wasn't a penalty. So take Kai Havertz away, different game. Take ours away, could have been a different game. So we won't know. So if you like, it was an evened up process, because who'd have known what would have happened if neither penalty was given? Because there was both.
I can definitely think, and I can't think of the games, but I will research them. Definitely, there's two that sticks in my head. There was one against Jack Grealish for doing the exact same thing, and Phil Foden was clearing the ball on the spin and did exactly what your man did yesterday, and the penalty was against us. So that like they don't happen. And just going back to your point, Stan, about Haaland becoming an all-round player. I watched Match of the Day this morning, and they made reference to that or whatever, his link-up play or whatever. I was thinking, maybe this was an old-fashioned point of view. Like, what happened to say, like, what they used to call, say, fox in the box? Why does he have to leave the box? His goal is, or his job is to score goals. It's not outside the 18-yard box looking like Pelly. You know? Like, why change his game? Why, like, no, right, you can make him a stronger player, we link up player, whatever. But, like, as long as it doesn't take away from his finishing, leave him inside the 18-yard box or the 6-yard box. I don't care if he has 5 touches during the match, 4 of them result in goals. I don't know how many touches he had, but he still scored 4 goals. And that one that when Wolves he scored, he put his 4-1 up, was just instinct. Just boom. It was a rocket. So, like, why take up an 18-yard box?
Well, I think what they're trying to do, Paddy, is I mean, I've not seen the match of the day, so I don't know which one they're talking about. But if he starts dropping deeper, he's going to pull the defence further up. And if you then got that little bit of space behind him, you can then start doing what you've been asking him to do for months. Get those balls over the top for him to run onto. He can't run onto balls at the moment because the camp's on the edge of the 18-yard box. So if we start moving back out a little bit, 10 yards, 15 yards, it doesn't have to be a lot. He's then got that 10 yards. And we've got people like Foden and De Bruyne who can put that right weight of ball to get it over the defence, not too close to the keeper, and something for Haaland to run onto. Because you're right, that is one of his strengths, and you need to work into that. So that's what I'm thinking that they're doing. They're just trying to get that. They've changed it again, haven't they, with Doku? You know, when we had Sane, you could take people on and run into space. Now they've got Doku in there who'll take people on there and then. They're only little small changes, but he's tweaking it, isn't he, all the time? So now he's getting trying to get people in with the ball round the back or over the top so that Haaland can run on. That's me thinking, Paddy.
Exactly. That's exactly what you're saying. Fourth goal, Foden's ball up and over, and then put him one on to the defender, and he put the defender on toast and put the ball in the back. And the keeper didn't even see it.
Yeah, I mean, no, and he's good at it because was it the Everton? Was it the Everton? He put him on his backside. He can run. And with the amount of weight and strength he's got behind it, when he leans on somebody, they're on their ass before they know it. And he's got that open net. Well, he's just got the keeper to beat, hasn't he? So it's, I don't know. And they're doing it now. I wonder if he thinks, right, well, he was off for a while and he's worked quite a lot while he was in rehab on the pitch, away from the crowd doing it. Give it a few games for him to get used to it. And then it's, it's up and running. But you never know, do you? With you what? Sorry,
Haaland at the minute looks like a man possessed.
Yeah, which is all right. And I mean, now if Roy Keane's winding him up, great. Let him wind him up all the time. Keep going, Roy.
I asked Martin earlier. There was a quote on there, and I was looking for an audio one of the.
Go on, mate.
I'm sorry. Don't like hearing my voice. About Roy, Haaland was asked something about Roy Keane. He went, "I don't care
what that man says."
Yeah, he's got no time for him.
But even today, Keane was having a go at Haaland on Sky Sports. Which, again, they've got a global platform to slag our players off, and it's unacceptable. It really is. Liverpool versus Spurs, but. That Dave Jones, the presenter, turned around. He was on about Salah at first, about last week, his strop and stuff like that, and Keane in his normal face. And then that Dave Jones turned around and basically said, "Is it all right if you score 4 goals?" And he went, "No, it's not. No, it's not." And calling somebody stroppy is when you're on a global. If he's on his own social media, can say what he wants, but if you're on a global platform like that, or talk shite or anything like that, there's got to be guidelines, and something's got to be governed, Anne-Marie, hasn't they? Where
yeah, there has, but you can say that about a lot of them. Carragher was at it last night, from all accounts.
Yeah, he was.
Penalty, about the atmosphere and the fans and this, that, and the other. For me, that man should never be allowed in our stadium ever again. It's as simple as that.
Carragher, the problem with Carragher was we were playing so well, he couldn't find any criticism. So he went to the fans, the atmosphere, this, that, anything. But I'll be honest with you, Andy, I think with Roy Keane, most people will realise that he's been petulant and it'll come back on him. Obviously, you'll get the wind-up merchants on Twitter, but from a man who walked out of a World Cup, he's not really got the platform to talk about being childish, has he, or anything like that?
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely.
You know. So, and he's had a few tantrums himself. You know, he had he saw his backside with Shearer. He's done this, that, and the other. And he's in the corner, isn't he? He's now. This is yet another record that he's going to be losing if City can win the league this year. Like, he never did 4 on the bounce. He's going to have to live with that now, knowing that Oscar Bob has done something he hasn't done.
Absolutely, mate.
It's going to sting him, isn't it? Rico Lewis. Oh yeah, I've done 4 in a row. Have you, Roy? No.
What do you want Haaland? Haaland's looking after that golden boot. He knows the lads are up there in 19, whatever, and he wants as much space between them and his rivals. Basically, like it's a team game, but there is kind of personal wars as well. But like, what does he want him to do? Handstands and because he was subbed and be overjoyed because he was subbed? I think that's the right reaction. Pep loves that. He did the same with Kevin De Bruyne.
Oh, yeah, he's done it. He's done it with them all. That's the thing, isn't it? I tell you what, if you overstep the limit, you end up at Barcelona with Cancelo. You can't get a bigger punishment than that.
He never
Big Morg, I agree with you.
He used to take off after 2 he scored 2.
This is a great point as well. People are making it seem as if we won the game because of penalties, and you know something, it can be perceived as that. Again, I just thought the whole performance from minute 1 to like 97 minutes or whatever. Let's go through a few of the performances. I did say I was a little bit uncomfortable with Ederson starting yesterday due to him being in a sling most of the week. And for their goal, it was it could have done better, in my opinion. But I want to put a bit more respect on Gvardiol. I think for the past 8 to 10 games, he has been magnificent. And it's not like a normal fullback, is it? Because he's dribbling, he's cross between a full-backy winger, inverted striker. And I thought that was the right starting back 4 yesterday, and every one of them I thought played very, very well yesterday. Anne-Marie, what's your thoughts on Gvardiol, the way he's started to get into?
I think he looks like a different player to the player who started the season. His confidence has grown, and we're seeing what he's capable of, which I don't think we did at the beginning of the season. And he's a decent player. He's actually a really good player, and he obviously fits in well, because if you saw last week when he scored against Forest, they had their own little, him and Walker had their own little thing going on. So I think I think he's done really well for himself, and it's positive for next season. It's a positive sign for next season.
Yeah.
Here's the thing for you, Andy.
Just before you think it, Paddy. Listen, as I said to everyone at the start of the show, if anyone's joined late, anybody who's in the chat tonight is going to win one of these. I'll throw a coaster in as well. Even if you don't listen, I must be feeling generous. Even if you're overseas, and your name's pulled out, I will send you that little beauty. So just so I know you're in the chat, because I know we've got quite a few in here, watching it live, but just
say hello in the chat.
Yeah, say hello in the chat so I know you're there, and then I can add your name to the little list like I've just done, like I'm doing as I'm going along here. So just do that, and you'll be in a chance to win that. Sorry, Paddy, go on, mate.
No, I was just saying, we were all debating about who would be playing left back, Gaviscon or Akanji, or the Aki, I should say. But it seems to be Pep's preferred pairing now is Aki and Gaviscon on the left-hand side. I was thinking then, is there a risk that Diaz will become the new Laporte?
I think that is a great shout, mate, because I think I was on Martin's show on Thursday. Martin's in the chat. I'm sure I've either dreamt it or I'm pretty sure, because Martin was playing, and quite rightly so, because we do it on here, devil's advocate, because I give my back four of Gvardiol, Ake, Akanji and Walker. So I think Martin said something on the lines of no Stones and no Diaz, and I went, no. I said the reason what Diaz, listen, they've all got a shout to start, but I just felt that the informed back four was the four what Pep went with yesterday, because even John Stones, since his injury for England, has not been performing at the highest level for us. So whether it's just a lack of form, he's still got niggles, or he's not being picked, I don't know. Do you agree? Disagree?
I think you're right there, Andy. I think Gvardiol's done what we expected. He's took 3/4 of a season to understand what needs to be done. Now he's reaping that reward. He understands what it needs to be to play that left-back role in the Pep team. And he is such a good footballer. He's only 21 and he's a man mountain. He's fantastic. And the fact that he's now got the confidence to get forward, he scored a couple. It's great. And it shows you how that team, the strength of it is that you can never quite say who the 11 is.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, all of us, people listening, everybody there, 11, I can remember just before the cup final, we pretty well knew who our 11 was going to be. There was a little bit of, who could play right wing, should Mahrez be in and whatnot. And that was about it. Everything else was nailed down. Now, you've got two guys who played in there who played really, really well, Stones and Diaz. And now, they're not guaranteed to get in the team.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just that constant evolving, and we evolve before we know it. That's the other thing that gets me. How just how does he do it? Well,
it is, the evolving, but also you look at, I personally, I like the pairing of Diaz and Stones at the back, but Stones appears to be made of glass at the minute.
Yeah.
He'll play
fine.
2, maybe 3 games, and then he's out injured again.
Mm.
And we can't afford that at this level. Diaz, I don't think has been at his best this season, whether that's down to his personal life or, he's had some injuries as well. I'm not sure, but hopefully, a good summer for the two of them might just change things around a little bit.
Yeah, no, I mean they're both fair points. There's no doubt about that.
The only reason why I see Diaz is getting the game is like if you look at that starting back four yesterday, Walker, flying machine, Akanji, he won't be caught for speed either. Nella will Aki or Nella will Gavis. So in the counter attack to close that down, you have four pacey defenders. Diaz and Stones are not as quick as the we started yesterday for speed, and maybe that's why Akanji, Aki, and Gaviscon is keeping them out of the team.
Here's one for you. Who's your player of the season, Anne-Marie? Mine, I know Phil's had a great season. I know Rodri's had a great season, but for me, Akanji. I think Akanji has been fantastic all season for us. He don't get the plaudits what anybody else does.
Possibly, but for me, it will be Foden. Foden has. We would not be in the position we're in if it hadn't been for Foden, whether that's scoring the goals or creating them. Particularly when you think of, the first 5 months of the season we were without Kevin. So for me, it's Phil.
And I don't disagree with both of you.
Go on, then.
Because if you take Akanji out of that team will survive Akanji. Take Foden out of that team, and that team will survive without Foden. There's one player you can't take out, and that's Rodri. So he gets it from. Take Rodri out of that team.
Here we go. We're going a bit of a run with Rodri. We don't get beat. And then when he's not in it, we lose 3 games. And then you're going on about him being player of the season. Honest to God, Paddy.
It just shows Stan he doesn't know what he's on about, mate, does it?
Oh, yeah. Well, you sound as though you're from Cork or somewhere. What's up with you?
Who's your player of the season? Stan, who's your player of the season, mate?
Do you know what? It is so hard, isn't it? Not for the fact that we're struggling to find anyone. It's the fact that they've all stepped up, haven't they? And Marie's spot on about Foden. But the thing is, it's amazing just how much things can change on somebody getting injured. De Bruyne gets injured, Foden steps up, and he's brought a whole new level to his game. Happened with the women. Jill Road gets injured. Jess Park steps up. Unbelievable. Yeah. Diaz or Stones has got glass legs. Possibly that's given Gavardiol the chance to get in. He steps up. He's done fantastic. And it repeats itself. But player, I don't know, Rodri, that's a good shout. Phil's a good shout. Akanji's a good shout. If you took Edison out of the team, you probably wouldn't suffer so much because I think Ortega's been fantastic.
Have you got splinters in your ass?
And he wouldn't have flattered that cross either.
No. Have I got what, mate?
Set the splinters out your ass. Who's your player of the season? But I tell you, while you're trying to think of that,
Dooku.
Who?
Dooku, just to wind you up.
Dooku. but I'll tell you what.
I'll be honest. It's Phil Foden. There's no doubt about that.
No,
despite saying it's really hard to settle on somebody, it's Phil Foden. No doubt about
that. I just think the 3 in question, Rodri, Akanji, and Phil, all deserve it. But I'll tell you what, over the past few minutes, what's really got me thinking, because it rings true, and that's what Paddy said. Could Diaz be the new Laporte? I think that's a decent shout, that, mate. So what I would like to see the difference there, I'd like to see Diaz have a bit of fight in him, which Laporte didn't when Aki took over on the left side. I'd like to see Diaz with a bit more
I think you will, Andy, because if you look at his personality and his personality traits, he's a leader of men, and he has been from a very young age. But you have a team full of that, of leaders. I don't think Diaz will disappear in the background the way that he did. He's too much fight in him. I don't think that's going to happen. But I'm just calling it as I see it now. Do I see Diaz being out of that team long term? Probably not. But I think Aki and Gaviscon are playing to the level that you can't drop them. And if it's not broke, don't fix it. Anybody that doubts, 2 seconds, Andy. Anybody that doubts Gaviscon on the left-hand side of that mark, go and watch the Man City interview he did with Matteo when he went out to the restaurant and stuff like that. Gaviscon can play anywhere on the left-hand side of that pitch. That's why he's so good. He can play anywhere on the left-hand side of that pitch, never mind left back. And he can read the game and these crosses. And never mind the goals that he's had in this game. Like he has some strike on him. But he gives, in terms of full-backs, he gives you what Walker doesn't give you on the other side. Walker couldn't cross his legs.
Hang on, let's not start comparing Walker to... Listen, it's like comparing...
I'm saying what he brings.
It's like comparing rice pudding to tomato soup, mate. They both offer different things. I think Gvardiol is more, how can I put it? He's young. I think he may be the new age fullback, whereas Walker is old school. And because of his age and stuff like that, I think it's going to be harder for Walker to adapt to what a Gvardiol will be like that, or an Akanji, because maybe it's an age thing, and you can't.
No, you're right. You're 100%. You're 100% right. Walker was brought up under a different way.
I'm going to clip that bit. 100% right.
The other thing with all is
a different system of playing. Gaviscon,
you got to remember
to play on the left-hand side of that pitch the way he's playing. But if you take into consideration the benchmark that every player comes to us takes a year to settle in, and Gaviscon is getting after 6 months. This shows you the intelligence of the player, and he's 21, Stan, is he?
Yeah. I was just going to say, I mean, the thing about Walker is in 2-3 years he's not going to be here anyway, is he? So as it's moving on, Gvardiol and his attributes are clearly going to be the way forward.
I'll tell you what, Matt,
I read today that Walker's going to the Saudi in the summer.
I was just about to say, I see a new right back coming in the summer. I don't know who, but I see
this talk of Frimpong coming back, isn't there? But again, that's just all rumours. You're better off getting Martin to comment in the chat, because he's in the know and he talks to influential people.
Tell you what though, Paddy, let's hope if he does go to Saudi Arabia, he can find somebody who can cross the legs.
Oh, he will. Apparently he's been convinced him to come. You're only back standing, you're starting a row.
No, I'm just saying that,
Back again.
He's got enough kids to be getting on with, hasn't he? You don't need any more.
No, we bless. And I want to also talk a little bit about for me the silent unsung hero, especially yesterday, but it has been for a number of weeks, and that's Kovacic. I think Kovacic, it breaks all. The ball seems to come to him, and the way he breaks stuff up, he does the dirty bits, and for me, he's giving Rodri Amory the freedom for Rodri to express himself more.
Yeah, he is, and he's not afraid to make a run himself either with the ball. I think in a lot of ways, he's the perfect partnership for Rodri, and it's something that we've been crying out for. Whether that was what the original intention was with Phillips, I don't know. But
he's injured, isn't he, Phillips, and back with us apparently.
Yeah, he's injured and out for the rest of the season. And unfortunately, he couldn't have played against us anyway.
Unfortunately.
So I don't know, but I think Kovacic was a really, really smart signing. I think there was a lot of we talk about football intelligence. Well, that was evident in the signing of him, because you've got a ready-made player who, has taken a little bit of time to fit into our way of playing, but had enough about him to know the basics. You don't win the Champions League. I don't know how many times he's won it for 3 different clubs.
Yeah, three. Is it four times? Was it twice with Madrid? Stan will know this. His stats are winning. Is it 4 times he's won it? Twice with Madrid, 1 with Chelsea, 1 with us. Oh no, he didn't win it with us, did he?
No,
didn't win it with us, no.
Three times. Then sorry. God, am I still on?
So
I think he's played about 10 minutes across them, but he's there, isn't it?
Well, listen, Calvin Phillips was boasting he won 5 trophies with us, mate. So if
and it was on the bench for most of it.
And I tell you what, Andy, puts him level with Roy Keane's greatest achievement. So stick that one in your pipe, Royston.
Yeah.
Hey, I tell you what, who I think's been an unsung hero has been Nunes. You what, mate?
Did you see?
So I reckon Nunes has been an unsung. No, Nunes, he's been an unsung hero, knowing not to get involved in anything and just keeping out of the way. Sometimes that's just as important.
It is, because it creates that space, doesn't it, mate?
No, I mean, not getting in the team, just keeping the hell out of the way. Yeah. Knowing not to be part of the problem is just as good as being part of it.
Don't be slagging Andy's pet off. Andy, that's Andy's pet you're talking about. Andy thinks he's going to be a world beater. That's for sure.
Who? Nunes?
Nunes.
Yeah,
listen,
Andy's pet.
With Nunes, I've never said Nunes is going to be a world beater. What I've said about Nunes is he's not had the opportunity at the moment to get a run in games. Nunes, he's got a fantastic turn of pace. Listen, Wolves fans, because I know a few Wolves fans, was devastated that Nunes left, even though he'd only been with them a short space of time. So I think
I'm sure Leeds were devastated when he lost.
Listen, Nunes ain't going anywhere in the summer, regardless of people hoping he does and stuff like that. But with Kovacic, it seems like Pep's, and again, I'm only guessing in a fan's opinion, like you guys. It seems like Pep had a conversation with Kovacic and said, "Listen, I can't offer you every single game, but what I want is somebody with experience to come in and play a part and contribute." And Kovacic has done that to the T, Stan.
Yeah, he has. He's a good player. You don't play at the top like he's done. I mean, he's not just done it at club level; he's done it at international level as well. And Croatia are a very, very good team, and he's a big part of that.
Yeah.
So he can adapt. He can play different ways. I think Anne-Marie was right there that he's been I don't mean this in a flippant way. He's been a small but important cog. You know, he doesn't get the recognition of the Fodens and the Rodris and all that, but I don't think he'd be that bothered about it. He knows what he's doing is vital. And once that little cog, if that doesn't work, things don't quite work well. And he's come in and the big shoes to fill. When what's he called left? Gundogan, yeah, when he left. Now, you're not really going to be getting anyone in there straight away to be able to cover that role, but between himself and Foden, I think they're getting there. They're doing it. And, I think he's done well. There's no real grumbles against him. I can't think of anything that he's done particularly wrong or gets in the way of anything. Nice little water carrier.
Start of the season, right? The first 7-8 games, I think it was. Matteo started every match, and we won. We were after a flyer.
Yeah.
And then when we went out of that team, we started drawing and we started losing. I don't think it's by accident.
No, sorry, Paddy. I was laughing then. I've just seen what Andrew Hughes has said. And for the simpler times. It was much easier when Richard Dunn was winning Player of the Year. You're not wrong there, Andrew. There was only one name. It was much easier.
But you see, the problem
4 years in a row
is, yeah.
The
problem.
It's like bags of crisps, isn't it? It was great years ago. You only had one bag of crisps, ready salted. Now you've got too many bags of crisps and flavours. You don't know what you want.
That's a bit. I tell you what, that's just as good as your keys and locks analogy, mate. That one. So yeah, we've got. Can you see us slipping up in the next let's say 4 games, because we've also got the FA Cup final. I know do you think players only take it one game at a time, or do you think they've got that finishing line, Anne-Marie?
In honesty, I think our players, and I'm only speaking for our players, do take it one game at a time. And I think they don't have much option in that, because that's Pep's mentality. And whether we believe it or not, I actually do believe it. I think he does just look at one game at a time. And he won't be thinking about Tottenham yet. His focus will be on Fulham on Saturday and getting the 3 points there. So, yeah, I think our players do look at it that way.
Do you, Paddy?
I don't see Fulham being a problem because we're going to have a week's rest, but I see Spurs being a problem because it's less than 72 hours after the Fulham match.
Right, Paddy, do us a favour. Will you answer the?
Yeah.
Give us an answer to the question and not something else. I said, do you think the players see it one game at a time, or do they go?
Oh, sorry, no, I missed that. Sorry, apologies. No, I don't. I would agree with what Anne-Marie said. That's not allowed. It's one game at a time.
Come on, Stan, give us some wisdom. Not Norman.
They might do privately, or if they're talking to one or two of the teammates, but in the dressing room and certainly in front of Pep, no. It's one game at a time and that's it.
I think that's the way Pep has it, because, as we know, you start looking too far ahead, and you can come up an absolute cropper. It's a bit of a weird predicament, Anne-Marie, because will United want to put it in against Arsenal because they won't want City to win? Will Spurs put it in against City because they don't want Arsenal to win?
I honestly don't think that comes into it. If I'm honest, I don't think it does, because if we look at United as an example, United need the points to get 6th place, if I'm not mistaken. And I think somebody overtook them in the league today. Now, I know they play Palace tomorrow night, but they're desperate for European football of any kind. So they need the points. So I don't think there's not enough local lads in that team for it to impact them if we win it. That's the bottom line of it. And I think the same with Spurs.
They was poor again. They're going to turn into 1970s Brazil, aren't they, against us, Stan?
Yeah, you know it. It won't be Richarlison up front. It'll be Richarlison and Soninho, and Vicario will turn into some super form of Edison. Happens all the time. They're a pain in the ass.
I've heard this signing, Ronaldo, Messi, before that match on free transfers, Paddy.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Listen, we've got. Listen, we need to, even as fans, we need to take it one game at a time, because Fulham won't be an easy game, despite what people think. Because we're the world champions. People want to beat us, and the players. Yeah, I know. Me and Martin have had a bit of banter with. He says teams are on the beach. I don't go for that, because you've got managers fighting for their future. You've got players fighting for their future. They're professional. They'll have it on the CV that they beat the world champions, etc. Anne-Marie, and it's. Do you think there's certain teams on the beach, or do you think they've all got the professional pride?
I think it's a difficult one. I think if you look at, it depends on what each team has to play for. So Sheffield United on the beach, goes without saying. Burnley probably on the beach, because I don't think they're going to save themselves. I think yesterday was pretty much the final straw for them. Luton and Forest, there's still plenty for them to play for. The likes of Everton, Bournemouth, Brentford, again, the only thing they've got to play for is the positioning in the league, and depending on where you finish, depends on the money you get, doesn't it? So in that respect, it depends on what their board, if you like, are pushing for. So I don't think you can say that anybody is on the beach apart from the likes of Sheffield United, who, no matter what happens now, nothing's gonna. It's not going to change the outcome for them. And, whoever they've still got to play, I don't think it can impact anyone else's final position in the table. But you look at your teams, and it's like, I expected a tougher game yesterday from Wolves than we got.
I did, to be fair, Anne-Marie.
So you just don't know, and it's whether you've got a team. So whether Fulham do what everyone else seems to do, which is play with everybody behind the ball, and we have to break that down, or what, I don't know. You just don't know until the game kicks off. And if we get off to the right start, we'll take some beating. Whoever we're playing, it is that simple. And like we've just said, it's just completely about focusing on one game at a time, because you don't know what's going to happen in that game. We could be winning and winning easy, and then you get somebody like Foden or Kevin or Haaland gets injured in that game, and we're looking at the next 2-3 games without them, maybe, which, in the run-in, and then with the FA Cup final. So we just have to focus on each game and see what we can do in that game.
This is a question only me and you can answer, Anne-Marie, from Jeff. How come you're not talking about the biggest issue yesterday? The chip portions in the stadium were literally reduced by 50%. Forget about season card price increases. This is a different gravy. I didn't know they did gravy. Did you?
No, they don't. But I didn't have any chips yesterday, Jeff. But I did notice that there was a kid in front of me who got some. And if I'd have paid what he paid for his chips, I wouldn't be happy, because there wasn't that many in the old box.
Right, so Jeff's right then. They've reduced by 50%.
I think Jeff is right.
There was a post on Twitter, a fellow was complaining about the chip portions.
I'm rightly so.
It takes it all to a new level. All the pies.
This is the thing, though. This is what real fans get annoyed about. This is something Carragher will never understand, because he's never had to go and buy a chip butty at the ground. He don't even pay to get in.
Like, my biggest argument with City and drinks and whatever at the ground is, Why do they think that everyone wants to be sugar-free? Not everybody does want to be
Yeah.
sugar-free.
I think to be fair, I think anybody, there's too much sugar knocking around now, and why can't people just have sugar-free drinks and stuff like that?
You're a dick.
What?
Nothing.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, if people can smoke, why can't people want to have the right to have diabetes and need tablets and coughing the guts up every morning, doing whatever it is they need to do? Is that not an inalienable right?
Hang on, it's not Dr. Mildred's health surgery, mate.
I don't know that, man.
This is something, Anne-Marie, and I thank you for this yesterday. You posted something about David Silva. Because I'd been out before the match when I got in the ground.
You were late, weren't you?
No, something. I was literally 2 minutes. 2 minutes I was.
Yeah, but you missed the best bit of you missed the best bit of the afternoon. I
did. And do you know something? I'm absolutely devastated over this because I'm annoyed with City as well because they've not give Sergio and David a proper send-off. Yeah, Sergio Aguero, was it 10,000 fans against Everton, I think it was, on the last home game of, COVID, wasn't it, COVID times?
Yeah, but there's nothing to say he won't be there at the West Ham game, Andy.
Yeah, I thought that's what was happening, that if we're still in with the chance of winning the league, they're going to have both Silva and Aguero there.
Can we play them?
Probably.
But that is my downside from yesterday. I was absolutely devastated that I didn't see David.
It's not the greatest video I've posted, but you got the gist of the reception he got.
Yeah, so if anybody's not seen that, I don't know if City's official
page have got it on as well.
Oh,
but if you go in the group, I did put a video on in the group.
Yeah. Did you? Do you mean of David Silva?
Yes, of David.
Let's just clarify that the video Anne-Marie put on, it's not from her OnlyFans account. It's from the match yesterday. Not right, Anne-Marie.
Prior to the match yesterday.
Look at Paddy. Look at Paddy googling there.
I'm not googling anything when you're watching. I'll wait until I'm on my own.
Should we have a quick skip forward to what our summer transfers? We'll do a proper in-depth show on stuff like that. What do you think? What do you think we need for the summer? We'll start off with you, Stan. Whenever you want, mate.
Yeah, no, I'm just having a think. I'm going to have to be honest there and say I don't know.
Well, let's talk about the
I don't know, Jeff. I don't know, Jeff. Have we signed somebody? I thought he was just on loan.
Let's go with the rumoured incomings then.
Well, get on.
Frimpong supposedly coming on right back. You've got Bruno Gimme Rice and Paqueta.
No, I'd like Frimpong. I thought he was all right and he's doing well with Leverkusen, but again, it's a different league, isn't it? Tell you what, though, he'll certainly give teams something to think about when he goes bombing forward and he can finish. So, he is pretty quick as well, isn't he, from what I can gather?
Yeah.
Don't know, mate. Maybe there's your ready-made Walker replacement.
But hang on, why is it? I knew somebody was going to say it. Why does it have to be a replacement? Why can't we bring somebody in and say Walker and Frimpong fight it out for the spot? Why do we have to get rid of someone for somebody to come in?
Because you can only play 11 players at once.
I know you can, but in it.
Well, if you bring on Frimpong, you're not going to be taking off Haaland, are you? So if Frimpong comes in, it's going to be something on the right side of the defence, and I'm going to home in on Walker. Yeah, Rico Lewis is there, but Rico can move. Rico can move to the defensive midfield, can't he? He can do both them jobs. I know what you're getting at, Andy, that you don't, yes, you possibly could play Frimpong with you could play Frimpong with a table tennis ball. You never know.
Frimpong. I see what you did there, mate.
Yeah, but some people you can move around. Some are a little bit more specialist. I think if anybody, it might be the right wing that he could get in there, because like I said, he is good at getting forward. So anybody along that left could be under attack from young Jeremy.
You've made me laugh, you mate. I can't get that. No. Listen, I'll let you chat on because I've got literally. I'm going to do the draw live as we're doing it. For the mug and coaster. So you chat away for a few minutes while I put the balls in the bag, as it were.
Have you got a velvet bag with warm balls?
That's a different show, Sean. That's the private stuff. You have to put 50p in the slot and see that.
Hang on a minute, Stan. Is that a question for me or a question for Anne-Marie's OnlyFans account?
No, that's definitely for you, Andy. I didn't know Anne-Marie had one. Is this something that's happened while I've been away?
I haven't got one, Stan.
Right.
Yes, you have. Stop.
Well,
Be proud of yourself.
Carry on while I get the last lot in, as it were.
Well, a quick chat then about the City ladies today. It was a disappointing result, but we seemed to just run out of steam in the second half, I think. And we're definitely missing Bunny. And it was on a sad note. It was
73rd minute. 73rd minute. Sorry, Anne-Marie, go on.
Why am I getting abuse here?
Oh, hang on. Don't stop. You take the rough with the smooth. Normally, it's a loving for Anne-Marie. Oh, Anne-Marie. One somebody says about a chip on your shoulder, and you'd have a meltdown.
No, I'm laughing at you.
Steve, I can only assume you know Steve, I can only assume you know Anne-Marie has a chip on her shoulder because you've been watching the OnlyFans account.
Steve, don't listen to these. But just on another note, it was a sad day because it was Steph Horton's last home game as a City player. I think she got a great send-off at the end of the game. Unfortunately, she didn't get on the pitch to play any minutes, but with a bit of luck, she might get some minutes in a fortnight's time against Villa. But we started off well in the game. We had plenty of chances, but in the second half, we just seemed to run out of steam and Arsenal were all over us. I think that's a pretty fair reflection on the game this afternoon.
What knocked me was they got away with plenty of kicking, and that Lacasse kick on Kasparin should have seen her go. Yeah, and guess who came on for her on the sub? So they stayed the 11 players.
Yeah,
Blackenhouse. Now she was forced off with that injury, and that upset the back four. There's no doubt about that. No doubt about it. And when you're doing something like that and you're defending at that level of concentration, it was just a team as good as Arsenal will find them little holes that weren't there before.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. And you're right, they were on top, but I didn't think they weren't really doing much till the last 15 minutes. And then,
that's not a
like I say, after Kasparin went off, he was shuffling around at the back and all sorts, and you lose your momentum, you lose your cohesion.
Yeah, but we've still got
bitterly disappointing. But it's what it is, isn't it? There's not a lot you can do. You just have to beat Villa by a big score.
That's it, and we're capable of doing that. And I think I can't remember who. I know Chelsea are playing Bristol City now, but I'm not sure who they've still got to play.
Yeah, they're playing Bristol City now, and they're winning 4-0.
Yeah,
which you're going to expect
United to play the last day of the season.
Yeah, they're playing United away.
Yeah.
So you can expect them to get it all wrong. They've got Tottenham away and United away. I think Tottenham will put up a fair fight, but
it's a London derby when they play.
Yeah, I'm not relying on United to do anything. But I mean, this comes back to what we were saying a minute ago about 2 years ago. We lost a lot of players and people were fuming and going mad. Then it went a bit worse because we didn't get through to Europe on goal difference. That's all it was, just goal difference. And United had finished second, and it was all this, that, and the other. But you look at where we are now, and compared to where United are, we've flown past them, absolutely flown past them. And no matter what happens now, we cannot finish outside the top two.
No, I think was it last week or the week before, Gareth Taylor clocked up his 100th win as City manager.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah. Oh, and the other big news: Lauren Hemp signed for another few years.
Yes, she did. She's extended her contract.
There's a lot going on there.
And she scored a good goal today, to be fair to her.
Oh, it was an absolute bullet. You beauty. But that's it is what it is. But who do you think will bring him? If we bring anybody in?
Well, I'm not sure. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because if you like the Frank Kirby's leaving Chelsea after 10 years, isn't she? At the end of the season.
Thing is, though, with her age and what have you, would we want her? I'm not dismissing her. She's a great player, but if she comes in and Rod comes back, who would get frozen out? Would it be Jess Park? You don't want that.
No, you don't want that. I'm not saying that we'd necessarily want her, but you're looking at experience, and she knows the women's game pretty well.
I'll tell you where she'll end up. No. Palace. She won't need to leave London. All the little bits are in there. She can keep them up and do things. She can have that team built around her, and it'll give Palace some really good PR.
That's true.
I'm almost ready, guys. It's been that many things.
Hurry up. We're on about Palace now, so hurry up. We're running out of material. But yeah, I think she'll go there. I tell you who is out. I can't remember the name. There's a kid from Barcelona who's pretty good. And she's about the right age. She's about 25, 26. Can't remember the name, but it might be worth having a look at it. That's what we want, people who with real proper European experience.
Yeah, and I think it's important to keep some of the players we've got, the likes of Jess Parks, like you said, Mary Fowler. It's important to keep them.
I was looking at it. The players who are 23 or under, you've got Lauren Hemp. You've got, there was loads of them. Jess Park, Lauren Hemp, Jess Park, that Plinky Plonky who's come in. Chiara, Kirsten Kasperan. Bloody hell. There's about another 3 or 4. You look at them and you think, oh, Ruby Mace. Who are the others? Yeah, honestly, there was about 6 or 7 of them that you think you got the spine of a team there, and they'll do all right, and they're in good positions. And then when you look at Bunny and Chloe Kelly and Yui Asagawa and all that. They're only like 25, 26, 27. They've still got a few years to go. So we've got a decent, Greenwood, there's another one. She's not 23, but she's always done all right.
Just you see that they sent this. I'm gonna do two because I ran out of pink post-it notes. So so it just shows it's not a fix. I've got yellow. I'll do a yellow one and a pink one. You can see all in there. Shake it like a Polaroid picture.
Why have I got visions of catchphrase?
Hey? What?
Why have I got visions of catchphrase?
Oh, no. Why have you? You need to find another pink one.
Say what you see. See what you say.
I've pulled them out of the velvet
Good luck,
bag.
everybody.
They're warm. Ready. So, yellow, Elliot. Well done, Elliot. There's one.
Fix.
So, that smashed my head on me thing down there as well. The next one is Horwich Blue. Congratulations, guys.
Well done.
Should I do this every week? Should I do this every week?
What, bang
No.
your head, yeah?
No, that hurt.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. That hurt that. Yeah, so congratulations,
Take
guys.
your mind off your hangover.
It did. I'm going to put my email address here. No, that's not my email address. That's the website. See, it's like I've had a bang to the head. Right, so I'll put this in here. Caps are on now.
Amory, 6-0 now.
Yeah, I've just seen.
Right, here's my email address, guys. Drop me an email, give me your address, and I will I will send them out on Tuesday morning, with it being bank holiday tomorrow. Stan.
Yes, mate.
Good to see you back, mate.
Yeah, it's nice to be back.
Really, really, it's good to see you back, mate. You have been missed, and the guys have been asking about you as well. Paddy, always a pleasure, never a chore.
Likewise.
What was that? Are you modelling your haircut on me, by the way? Anne-Marie, as ever, thank you very much, Anne-Marie, as always. But more
Always
important,
a pleasure.
never a chore.
Yeah.
But who's the most important people?
Everybody in the chat.
Not me.
Exactly.
No, not you, Andy.
No, seriously,
No.
Anne-Marie, spot on. Much love to everybody who's in the chat. Have a fantastic, well, for those in the UK especially, enjoy your your extra day off work and stuff like that. And we will do it all again next week. Have a great week, guys. Speak soon. Bye-bye now.